business could be the channel that brings the money in to help you in realize some of your financial goals as well. So one of the things that Hannah was talking about, like, hey, you know what, I've got this career in news as a news anchor. And yeah, her Instagram post, she shared a little bit about that, and then she started working to get back onto into media again. And she's now from South Africa. She's now moved to Kenya. But it was such a beautiful journey. But it didn't happen like overnight. And she's a busy working mom. So even your vision and your dreams are not limited based on your circumstances. So she, you know, having children should not hold you back. So even though it may seem like it's holding you back, it might be a slower journey, but it's definitely not going to hold you back. So Hannah, maybe wrapping up, just recap for us how things are and the power of vision.
Okay. Rebecca, first of all, I wanted to do this right at the beginning, but I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for having this event. I want to thank you for meeting me. I want to thank you for sewing into what I was doing when you came to our events. And that's just such a generous thing that Rebecca does. Is you're just one of the most generous human beings I have ever met in my life, Rebecca. And so I just want to honor you for really just like pouring your life out for, particularly for women. To what you've spoken about, Rebecca, I would like to share with everybody that nothing should hold you back. Literally, like nothing should hold you back. And, you know, especially, and this is where I know that sometimes we could come from different faiths, and sometimes, you know, we might believe in Jesus and we might not believe, some people in Nicole might not believe in Jesus, but for me, that has been such an anchor in my entire life, is having that faith part of it. And one of the things for me is that I refuse to have anything hold me back. And I've had dips in my life, like real dips, and times of lack, and times of just not having what I want to happen. And then there've been times when it's been years of going through a period where I'm just like, this desert experience, when is it ever going to end, right? So I'm not saying that I've had this charmed life and that everything that I've wanted has just happened very easily. I've had tremendous challenges, but what I've learned so far looking back in my life is that nothing can hold you back if you don't allow it to. Because every single one of us has got an incredible power in us, and this is something that is going to work for you if you believe. It's this simple, guys. It's going to work for you if you believe it, and it will not work for you if you don't believe it. So the big part of it is believing. That's where you have to start. If you look at what you want and you think to yourself, how is it going to happen? And could it happen? I don't think it's going to happen for me. So-and-so tried it and it didn't work for them. So the chances of it happening for me are very slim. If that's your starting point, what you want will not happen. And it's absolutely 100% in your control, which is the good news, is nobody can determine for you what is going to happen and whether it's going to happen or not. And so it comes back for me when Rebecca is talking about me coming back into the media space. It sounds really simple, but I want to give you a little bit of background. I had not been in the newsroom. I'm a news anchor now again. I had not been in the newsroom for 7 years. Now, for anybody who's been away from your career and your profession, and especially if you're in a competitive industry like I am, where it's not a difficult and it's not an easy industry to get into, and you've been away for that long, in whatever industry you're in, it's not easy to have people believe that you can come back, because 7 years is a long time. A lot of things happened. They're wondering if you still have that skill, if you're going to be able to catch up with all the new technology that's happened in the 7 years you're away. It was a big deal. And so I remember right at the beginning, people like Rebecca, I had met this other incredible woman called Diana, and she was one of the first people also to say, you know, she was seeing something about me being, you know, she was seeing cameras and she was seeing TV, and God was saying something to her about TV. I had completely at that time shut myself off from it. I was like, I have moved careers. I am a health coach now, and I'm not even thinking about TV. And I had a mentor at the time who we would have these sessions. And she said to me, you know, Hannah, every time you speak about you being in news and you being in media, there's just like this different energy about you. Such a different energy that I never see any other time. There's such a fire in the way that you talk. And I was like, no, I don't think so. She was like, well, we should explore that at some point, you know? And so I had people who were saying this, different people, right, who were not connected. So it's not like they had a meeting and they said, you know, let's start speaking this into Hannah's life. They were just different people speaking this. And it seemed, and I remember in one session, my mentor asking me this, and I want to ask you this as well for everybody that's listening. She asked me, why won't you even allow yourself to want what you want at this time? Why won't you even allow yourself to feel it?
All right
So
now.
I'd like to add, for some of the people that are here, there's stuff that you want that you've probably switched yourself off from for whatever reason, and you're not even allowing yourself to want it. And you know, for me, it was a journey because I remember her asking me that. I remember going back into myself, and it was a long while of me just even having the courage to eventually ask myself, why won't I allow myself to want this? And when I delved down into it, what came to me was that I was afraid, number one, because I was thinking to myself, if I want this, if I want to go back to work in TV as an anchor, is it going to happen? Who's going to want to hire me, right? And if I want it, and then I fail at it, I am going to be so disappointed. I'm going to have to go through all these emotions of failure and losing, and I just did not want to have that. I'm so sorry, ladies. Just give me 2 seconds. I can hear my kids screaming.
Yeah, so that's the power of the beauty of a working mom and juggling everything. I'm sure most of you with little kids can understand. Yeah, but that's such a powerful point that Hannah is talking about, like, why won't you want it? And most of it is embedded in fear of failure. Like, what if I fail? You know, what if no one wants me? Some of you might think of writing a book and say, but who will read the book? You know, so there's so many different questions that can run through your mind and limit you from actually not getting what you want. So that's part of why we're having this discussion, so that you can start opening your heart, softening your heart as well, to start dreaming again and re-envisioning again and taking off those mental blocks. Yeah.
Oh my
Right,
gosh,
Hannah.
ladies.
Welcome back. Now we
I
understand.
am
We're
so sorry.
working.
These are my 3 gorgeous children. These are the children that I was told I couldn't have. So, I thank God, even for the challenging times. I thank God because He blessed me with 3 most gorgeous children.
Oh, yeah.
May I talk again, Rebecca, or
Yes,
am I?
please continue.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
please
I was just
continue.
saying. So for me, it was just a journey, just to get to that place of allowing myself to want it, right? And now when I wanted it, now I had to get to the part of believing that it could happen.
Yeah.
And that was difficult for me. Let me tell you, it was about a year of mental work of me to believe that, for me to believe, just to get the confidence, right? For me to even start to put a CV together and to start sending out my CV that I wanted to do this. And I can't get into it right now because we don't have time, but I can just tell you that it was, I got to the place of believing that this was going to happen, to the point where I would be washing dishes or mopping the floor. Here I am, and I could see myself back in studio. I could see myself reading the news again. I could see myself interviewing people. I would even pretend it was happening. Like I was right there. I could feel everything of what it was going to be like. And I knew in that moment that this was going to happen, that there was no doubt. It was just a matter of time. And so when I got the call, I was just like, I knew it was going to happen. I just knew it. It was just a matter of time of which channel it was going to be, where I would have to go for this to happen. But that is the power of believing. And one of the things that one of my coaches say to me is that it is not your job. It is not your job to figure out how it's going to happen. It is your job to believe it's going to happen. And then the practical part for me was, I'm going to send my CV out and I'm going to put myself out there. So if it's your business, it's not your job to be worried about what's happening with COVID and where the clients are going to come from and if anybody's going to pay for your services. It's your job to put out your business, right? And to just like put that out there and to just believe that it's going to come to you. And so it's been my journey of getting my health back. It's been my journey of literally going into heaven and bringing my children to this earth. It's been my journey of going back to this dream that I mean, since I was a little girl, I would see myself on TV. It was a career that when I look back when I was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's the career I used to envision, that I was going to be on TV. And it's such a blessing. It is such a blessing. And here's what I want to say to some people. Rebecca mentioned that I wrote a book, and I hear so many times people saying to me, oh, I would like to write a book. Oh, I would like to write a book. Guys, do you know how you write a book? You write a book. That's how you write a book. You get down and you write it. Okay? People that have written books, they didn't just wake up and it was in the mail. You start writing it and you write it and you finish it and it's done. And I've written 2 so far. And the way that I did it was I just sat down and I decided I was going to do this and I released these books. Every single one of you has got an amazing gift that God wants to release into this world. And I would encourage you, it all starts with, a lot of the time you're asking God, what should I do? How should I do it? But the most thing that people ask God, Rebecca, is what should I be doing, right? And here's what I believe with all of my heart. What you should be doing is what you really want to be doing. That's what you should be doing.
So simple.
And so simple.
Wow. Well, can you repeat that again in case anyone missed that?
What you should be doing is what you really want to be doing.
Oh, it feels so good to hear that. And because people complicate it. So Tato put a hand up. Tato, if you're not on mute, if you're still on mute, just type your question. We're going to just open up for 2 questions for now. And any other questions, we'll kind of wait for them till the end of the session. So Tato, feel free to type your question in there. She had raised her hand and we'll see what she's asking. But so much feedback, comments coming from people, Hannah, where they're saying it's so profound. I'm getting goosebumps. Other people are just saying, how you have to believe. So it's really, really, thank you for such a word in season. For so many people who are just saying, COVID really kind of like disrupted this whole idea of having a vision, and is it valid anymore? But then there's still those dreams that cry out to us and say, but I still want this. And then, like you said, what you should be doing is what you really want to be doing. Oh, so good, so good. All right. So Sophia Tendai, I don't know if anyone has written any questions. Ellen is saying, Hannah, you've grown so much. Sheba is saying, so profound. Thank you. All right. So, so I think if we don't have any other questions, and we'll just see when Tato's question comes up. Sophia or Tendai, feel free to interrupt me. Then we'll move into the session on now explaining what a vision board is. So, Zordwai saying, wow, if you have a vision, you must also believe in it. Thank you for this. Hannah, people are like saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, so that you know, right? So the power of having a vision, honestly, I started having a vision board session in 2016 where I launched and decided to start doing vision boards. But prior to that, I have been doing vision boards, but quietly in my own life. And Hannah talked to you and said, Rebecca shared how she had worked on vision boards. And for me personally, it was from a place of brokenness. And I went to my mentor as well. And she said, Rebecca, this is my vision board. You can do yours. And I went home and did my vision board. And I had a sister who was my accountability buddy, and she did her vision board. And she went to this like framing shop and she framed her vision board, and it was zhuzhed up. And I'm thinking, whoo, the challenge is on. I better take this thing more seriously. So, and I sat with my sons and I said, boys, mommy's going to work hard in becoming a better person. and then I decided to work on it. So Tato's question is on the chat, so I'll just kind of stop there and read that question. She's saying, morning, ladies. Firstly, this is amazing. Tato's question is, how do you prioritize your life? As there are so many different parts of being a woman, and where do you start? Okay, so I'll definitely answer that as we go through the session, Tato. So no problem. Yeah, so Hannah, I know that you're a busy mom and you have a birthday party that you're planning as well today for little Prince. We just want to wish you all the best. Greetings to the family and Jambo, is it Jambo, where you are. And thank you so much for your time. And so we definitely, you feel free to drop off whenever you need to rush back to the family.
Thank you
Anything
so
you want to
much,
say, Hannah?
Rebecca. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
But thank you so much for inviting me to this. And I just wanted to say real quick, and this is not even to market the book at all. Rebecca had said that if I wanted to just share with you, she's going to give you some details. But we want to be able to sow into what you're doing, Rebecca, because I know that it's I know the journey of doing things like this. And so through the book, we just want to be able to I just want to be able to bless you financially for what you're doing. And so Rebecca will give you more details about that. But thank you again, Rebecca, for doing this.
Oh,
Thank you for being in my life. Thank you for coming at a time when I really, really needed you to speak into it. And to everybody that's on this call, I just pray God's blessing over you, and well done. Well done for coming here today and being a part of this. It was a good choice. I know there's so much that you could have been doing, but you made time. And so I thank all of you for giving me
oh,
the time to speak with you.
wow. Thank you so much, Hannah. Thank you. All the best for today, all right?
Thank you, thank you,
Oh
thank you.
man. Oh, see, ladies, this is how queens support queens, right? This is how, we say fixing each other's crowns and supporting one another. Who would have thought, when someone is running their lane and someone comes and cheers you on? And so that's what it's all about. And when it comes to the book that Hannah just talked about, she said that, we'll use an Own Your Crown promo code. And so when you order, then she's got a special discount for everybody. So just look out for the details. All right. And so on the topic of vision boards, Tato will definitely incorporate your question in the presentation. And so number one, a vision board is a collection of words, phrases, or images that represent your wishes, your hopes, or your goals. Okay, I hope that makes sense to everybody. So it's really saying, what do you hope for? What do you envision? What do you want to happen in your life? And you put that on a vision board. But first, you would write down some comments, you'd write down some goals, you'd write down your dreams and ideas, and then you put them on paper. So here's my 2020 vision board. Okay. Ta-da! So mine is quite busy. So anyone who does not have a busy one, kudos to you. I normally upgrade my vision board. So I start off being very busy, and then later on, I kind of like make it more streamlined and more proper, or aesthetically pleasing to the eye. So if you can see from my vision board, my sons are very important to me. So the number 3 represents my sons, and I put reimagine the new you. So imagine more. So these are words that inspire me. I put retreat, I put coffee. If anyone knows me, I love coffee. So things that I want, like Hannah said, what do you love? I love flowers. So flowers are featuring here. And I started planting, so succulents because they don't die on me, and cactus plants. So at least I'm starting off kind of slow. So it was something that I'd envisioned to start doing, is working more on with plants. And then because I love my sisters, the tribe women, this represents women. And then also my social community work is over here, about helping and giving to people. So I'm able to tell you what's happening here, right? And then I love to dance. So if you can see this picture, before I had a picture where I'm dancing by myself. This year I said, I will dance with other people. So thank goodness for social distancing, but I said I will not dance alone. So that's on my vision board. I put a little bit of ice cream there, even though I'm thinking of healthy lifestyle and fitness. I still put ice cream. So still remember to enjoy the sweet things in life. And then money, I put a piggy bank. I need to manage myself on money. So that's their savings. And then when it comes to business ideas, and this beautiful woman with this, you see her tall neck and she's holding her head up high. That's her crown. So that's me saying, Rebecca, you'll be resilient, you'll move forward. And my theme words are rise up. I couldn't find the words rise up, so I put letters, RISE, and up. So I just kind of stuck them together to say, Rebecca, continue to focus on rising up. No matter what pulls you down, you will continue to rise up again. And then a car represents mobility, it represents adventure, it represents independence. So if you have a car image on your vision board, it represents more than just your dream car. It needs to be practical and be able to do what you need to do. And then I put luggage bags here. So for me, they represent travel, but also to travel light. Any emotional baggage that I might have, offload. Rebecca, you're not taking emotional baggage. And I just transitioned from different life circumstances, and I had to really work on letting go of a lot of stuff. So that's what that represents. And bling, every girl loves bling. Hey, diamond is a girl's best friend. So here we are. So, and then eagle. So the eagle is definitely representing that, Rebecca, as you rise up, you're going to soar like an eagle. You are not going to flap like a chicken on the ground. And then start new. And then this typewriter represents me writing books. And then I did put words here like speak up. I put a microphone, if you see a microphone, because I love things, the digital experience, working on the digital platforms, and also say it, voice, write it. So I put words like write it. And then a bookshelf here. So I've been reading a lot of books for my learning and development goals. So that's that. And then family is important to me. And then eating. Food has been so important. Do you know I've been eating like the best meals ever? Like this year. It's been unbelievable. So it's almost like whatever I've put down has really worked. And music is important to me. And then lionesses and a lion and the cubs is important. And then my spirituality box is here, because for me, it's really about just prayer and making sure that I worship and I keep my light shining. So in a nutshell, that's my vision board. And then a clock always represents time. So for me, it's always important to keep time for time management, managing what I need to do. So that hopefully that made sense and you're able to see a bit of what I have. So it's definitely talking about having a collage, having images, words that will inspire you along your journey. So whatever it is that you want. So when we talk about dreams, some of your dreams might be locked up in a cage. Most of you see me with images on my posts where I've got this kind of little cage. People will ask me like, do you have a bird? And I said, nope. See, the bird is actually sitting on top of the cage. So this represents when it comes to our dreams and our goals. What dreams do you have inside of you that are locked up? They keep on saying, Rebecca, when are we writing that book? Rebecca, when are we going for that dream? Rebecca, when are you going to take a chance on love? So it's really about saying, what dreams do you have, and are you going to release those dreams to be free, to be extended, and be an expression of who you are and what you want to accomplish. So if you have your journals with you, I'd like you to just open them up. And we're going to talk about two things. So we're just going to reflect between what's happened between January till COVID lockdown. I mean, the COVID pandemic really disrupted a lot of us. So we're just going to kind of check in first with gratitude. So I've got a gratitude jar. This is my gratitude jar where I write little pieces of notes of what I'm grateful for. So I'm just going to read one. Yeah. So this one I wrote down, I said, grateful for a roof over my head, grateful for opportunity to celebrate Tasha's birthday. One of my friends had her birthday, and we did like a little hunt in the mall and kind of celebrated her because there was social distancing. And then grateful for catching up with friends because we couldn't really see each other, but we kind of talked on Zoom and were able to call each other. So that's what I put down on my gratitude journal. I mean, so some of you might have a book, which is a journal, or a gratitude jar. So I try to keep both. The jar reminds me to do it because I see it, but sometimes if the book is closed, I forget. So let's reflect on what we're grateful for just from January till now. So regardless of what you lost, regardless of what you don't have, what are you grateful for? So if you can jot that down somewhere in your journal. And when you're done, just put a comment on the chat box to say done, or you can just say grateful. Okay. So what are you grateful for? Okay, Lorraine is saying done. Thank you. Oh, to me, Amanda, yes, grateful, grateful, grateful. Oh, done, grateful. Beautiful. Because it's so important to honor the journey that you're on. It's important to honor the access to food. Maybe it could be just warm blankets. It's been winter, it's been cold. Having a home. Because when there was an announcement to say, everybody, you're going to stay home on lockdown. Imagine people who don't have a home. Imagine people who don't have a place of belonging, how they felt to be told you need to go home and find a place of refuge during the lockdown. So there's so much to be grateful for. Now, what I'd like you to do, maybe at the bottom or the next page in your journal, is to write down what's been holding you back. What are some of the things that you are regretting? What are some of the things that really frustrate you? What are some of the things that slow you down from accomplishing your dreams? So it says, Rebecca, it's great that you're telling us to envision all these things, but I can't get past ABC. So what are those things? So they could be even good things, where it's like my comfort, I just don't want to be stretched too much. So I'd rather not dream too much. So what is it that you are looking at from a goal perspective that's holding you back, that's tripping you up, that's slowing you down, that's just stopping you? So on the next page, if you can reflect on the things that are derailing you from reaching your goals. So I'll give you a few minutes. We'll give you about 3 minutes to do that. And Sophia, I don't know if you can put up the slide while everyone is writing that down, what they're reflecting on. So if you can click to a few more slides down. Next one, next one, next one, next one, next one, next one, next one. Next one. There's one which says gratitude and reflect. Maybe it's at the top. Yeah, that one. Thank you. Okay, and I love the quote that's on there, which says, reframe your regrets into gratitude for your growth, because you're not in the mindset or situation that you were in before. So it's really about reframing. So what are you grateful for? And then what's holding you back? Okay, so as you write down what's holding you back, you really just want to kind of think about things that have limiting beliefs, like the self-talk, negative self-talk that you find that holds you back as well. So it's really about reframing. It's about reframing, reimagining. Okay, so if you're done, you can comment and tell us done. Okay, thank you, Ariel. Sodwa, done. Sharon, done. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. And the reason for writing these things is you reflect on what's holding you back. It's really important to kind of like take an assessment of your current location, because we always say when you put in a GPS to say, this is where I want to go, we look at where am I, where do I want to go, and how do I get there? So in order to get there, you kind of need to have a clear reference point. And there are fears, there are doubts, there's second guessing issues, low self-esteem could hold you back. So whatever it is, you need to acknowledge that it is what it is. However, it's also knowing that even with the fear, I can still reach for my goals and my dreams. And then you need to kind of unpack that when you get a chance, whether it's going with your mentor, your coach, your therapist, or your spiritual leader, or your counselor. You might, if something is deep rooted out of trauma, just make sure that you do address that. Don't try to ignore or cover up things that you know keep on crippling you. All right, so we're not therapists here on Own Your Crown, but we definitely say make sure that you reach out to the right help where you need to move those boulders out of the way, especially if they're emotional and deep rooted out of trauma. But other things you can actually learn, rewire your thinking in making sure that you start moving forward. So if you look back on your gratitude list, if you can go back there, I would like you to write down what was one of your key accomplishments. What are some of your key accomplishments that you feel, I need to celebrate this? You know, it might not be grand to other people, but for me, it was important. Maybe it was just, maybe you learned a new skill, or maybe you were able to learn technology, right? And you're having to work from home, but it was something that you're scared of. What is the key accomplishment that you can count just to celebrate? So pause and celebrate, because as women, we don't do enough of that. We don't. We kind of brush over things and we just move. Maybe it was managing your natural hair. Maybe that was one of the things when you couldn't go to the hairdressers. It was a key achievement. Or getting those acrylic nails off, while on lockdown. So what was one of your key achievements? Okay. And then on the side of what's holding you back, I would encourage you now to just write down what are some of the things that you regret, that you know you need to forgive yourself for. So write down anything that you feel, I need to forgive myself for this. So it could be past failures. I've met people where they've like decided to work on their education and then they quit along the way and they regret having quit and they haven't forgiven themselves. Or some women on this platform could be teenage moms where maybe you had a teenage pregnancy and it could be something that you still have not forgiven yourself for. I want you to just reflect on it and kind of acknowledge that this is an area I need to forgive myself for. Because we can forgive everybody else except ourselves. Isn't that something? We tend to do that. We tend to not forgive ourselves. So I want you to encourage you to forgive yourself for the dreams that you let go. Maybe you let go of the good guy in the relationship box. So you say, oh man, he was the right man, but I just was so caught up in myself and I wasted that opportunity. Forgive yourself. And I want you now, as we go into the envisioning for and rewiring ideas, is really to extend grace to yourself in that area. Extend grace. And grace, when you extend grace, it's like you don't deserve it, but just be gracious. Just be gracious. So extend grace to yourself and to others. The same way you would want grace extended to you. Like, give me another chance. And guess what? When it comes to you, you're never counted out of the game. You're always in the game. Even if you're knocked down, you're never counted out. Like those boxing games when people count and time, let's say up to 3 or 5 or 10. And if you don't get up, you're out. Guess what? In life, no matter how many times the referee needs to keep counting, you're still in the game. All they want you to do is to get yourself back up again. And that's part of having a vision, is count yourself in and bet on yourself. You deserve a second chance. So extend grace to yourself and to others. And that brings us now to the next activity. So if you have a blank page, again, in your journal, Sophia, if we can slide to where we've got those boxes in blue, the 8 boxes of the different quadrants. So there we go. Okay, so ladies or gentlemen, whoever's on the platform today, if you look at the different boxes in life, like Tato was asking, how do I balance everything? Number one, you need to look at your life holistically. So you need to break it down to the different groups and areas that matter to you in your life. And it's just having a clear dashboard view. I call this like a dashboard view. Like when you're driving, you're able to see things from a clear perspective. So if you can write down these different areas that matter to us, number one, relationships. And it can be in any order, by the way. So this order does not mean that's the way it goes in life, but it's just to show you the different quadrants that are important and that matter to a woman's life, to an individual. So relationships. Then there's the quadrant of finances. What is my vision concerning my relationships? Whether it's be romantic, social, family, business relationships. So what are my dreams? What is my vision? How do I envision my relationships panning out? Or what are my dreams concerning my family, my children, my spouse? So those are relationship boxes. So you can write down maybe one goal that you might be thinking of right now that's top of mind concerning relationships. Then the next thing can be finances. Finances really come regarding your money. Money matters. You know, I need the money. Where's the money? We all need it. So what are your goals? So for me personally, it's really saying, Rebecca, how do you save and have the discipline to save? And then how much do you want to save? And then number two, it could be, I want to own maybe a property. So for you, you know where you want to invest your money. So it could be investments. It could be able to pay off bills, pay off the debt. So make sure you think beyond your means, right? Dream beyond your means, but live within your means, but dream beyond your means. Then the next box is on learning and development. That's part of your education. So if you've ever dreamt of having a degree, maybe you dreamt of getting certified in a certain skill set, maybe you've dreamt of learning a new skill, maybe it's an additional course. For me, it was project management, and it was also service management where I needed to get certified, and I did that. And that helped me to reach some of my career and business goals. So you know where your skills gaps are, so make sure your learning is also there. And by the way, we've got YouTube, we've got Coursera, we've got Udemy. There's so many platforms where you can actually be able to get your education for long distance. And the universities, they've got lots of online programs now, which you can sign up for. Then the next goal is career and business. You know, what are your business goals? What are your career goals? What do you wish for when it comes to working, the career that you've always wanted? And you can put in your short-term, long-term, mid-term goals all in one. So it doesn't have to be for this year only. It can be something that you think in 5 years' time, that's what I want to do. Okay. Then spirituality. It's really about your faith, your belief system. Well, you know, maybe I need to meditate more. Right now, I'm not in a good space. I'm all over the place. I need to bring my soul to this place of stillness. You know, maybe you need to fellowship with others more. You know, people who speak to your heart, speak to your soul. Maybe it's listening to talks or teaching based on your faith that will help you to grow spiritually. So it has to be intentional, needs to be intentional. So I've got a circle of friends where we pray for each other, we share scriptures, we share words of encouragement. So that for me is I stay close to those people because they help me with my spirituality. Even though I also have my quiet space, maybe have a routine where you say in the morning, I'll wake up early, I'll listen to music that will inspire me first thing before I just rush onto social media. I'll read something motivational. What is that you need to do? So have spiritual goals. Okay. Then moving on to health and wellness. That's important. You heard Hannah talk about health and wellness, that we have to take care of our bodies. We have to take care of our mindset. So it could be mental health. We had a segment on mental wellness when the few weeks on Own Your Crown bootcamp. Revisit that talk on YouTube so you'll get access to that, just to remind you to take care of yourself. It's your body, your mind, your soul, your spirit, because you are the vehicle in which this vision needs to be executed through. Okay? You are the vehicle which this vision needs to be executed through. So there's no way you can materialize the dreams that you have or manifest what you want if you're not taking care of the vehicle that actually needs to do it. So your health is important. One of the things that I did was when I was going through a relationship, turbulent time, I went through a divorce. If some of you don't know my personal story, and I started having, you know, heart palpitations because I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't drinking enough water. And so now I was sabotaging my own body because I was going through something more emotional. So if any of you are going through an emotional time, make sure that you still take care of your body. Whatever you can do, drink water, eat healthy, walk, exercise, just to replenish your body. It needs nourishment in order to be able to cope with maybe just day-to-day demands. And you might not have the capacity to manage all that, but you can and you will, as long as you start putting into action things that you need to do. So maybe one of your goals is to have a healthy body, but the healthy body is not necessarily about just about the weight size and saying, I want to lose a certain number of pounds. It's really more about your well-being. It's about your well-being. And then community and volunteering. So I volunteer different communities, and like Hannah was talking about generosity, for me, that's how I express. I love to give. I love to sow, whether it's services of action, whether it's calling someone or volunteering to do certain activities for free. That's how I stay in tune with community, or maybe people around you that you have. So you don't always have to start a foundation, but if you always had the dream to maybe start an orphanage or helping, start volunteering in those areas that you're passionate about. So those dreams are valid, because we need each other. And it's not just having a vision board, it's not just about selfish goals. It's also about how I impact those around me, my community, my society. And then write down, the last one is really about creative projects and travel. I know we cannot travel right now. Oh, and guess what? On my vision board, I had Italy. So Italy was one of my countries to visit on the creative projects and travel. So it's still there. I'm not taking it down, because once everything settles down, whether it's in a year or two, I will be there. I will post pictures when I'm walking on the streets of Rome. So what goals do you have? Creative projects could include your space. So I work closely with some interior designers, and one of the things we're talking about was people are working at home. They're working from home, they're getting bored with their space, and they think, if I could change this, if I could do that. So there are color consultants that can help you to say, okay, for you to be more productive in your room, maybe color one feature wall, maybe a light green. It'll help you to stay calmer, or make sure that you have maybe a nice rug that's bright and colorful and have cushions that are popping. So it could be a creative project just to redo your space. You could be in a big space, you could be in a tiny space. There's always creative stuff you can do. Or it could be learning to paint. It could be learning to sew. Some of you had to learn to sew masks. So what is that? Okay, so on that note, so this gives you an idea to just putting down your dreams, your ideas, your hopes. And like any architecture, when it comes to building, they play a specific role in the building process. Someone has a dream house in their mind, then they draw it on paper, the architect shows you what it could look like, and then you start doing a project where you start saying, how do I save the money, get the right bricks, get the land, and then you get the team that starts digging the foundation. And then no matter how high the building needs to go, you still got to go deeper with your foundation. So when we reflected back on what's working, what's not working, really was saying, what are we building on? Are we building on negativity, or are we building on positivity? So it's really important for you to build your vision and your goals to be pushed by a positive vision than being pushed by something negative like fear, doubt, and just where you just feel hopeless. But we know that people are hopeless right now. It's happening with the environment we're in. But by writing things down, it allows you to reflect, to be more focused, and to see how tangible your goals can be. All right, so we're going to move to the next slide. So the next slide is really where we're going to go into, I remember beginning of 2020, there was this, I follow, there's a page I follow on Instagram, and they're talking about planning for the next decade. And so when it comes to career goals, make sure that you research your industry and sector. Make sure you have a clearly defined purpose. So purpose is so important when it comes to your goals. It's not just about getting, it's also about what purpose am I serving? So purpose means I love helping people. Like for me as Rebecca, I love helping people. That's just me. but it is expressed through how I work, the industry that I choose to work in. Can I have access to helping people? That's how I base my goals. That's my purpose. Be aware of technological and economic changes. COVID-19 brought a lot of changes. So this is no reason for you not to dream again, not to revisit your vision. The economic changes will not stop you. It's vision is still drawing the house plan. You might not build it today, but still need to have a sound plan in place. Make your well-being a priority. We talked about your health and wellness because you need to be alive in 5 years' time to fulfill that dream. And number 5, focus on improving your skill set. Okay? So focus on that. So all the time that you're bored, all the time you're Netflixing, allocate time for entertainment and fun for those creative projects, the fun travel area, but also make sure that you improve your skill set. Focus on building a lifestyle around your goals. So it's really about who you are more than what it is. You know, sometimes we focus on, I need to do this, but is that really part of who you are? Is that an extension of who you are? And then lastly, define what's actually important to you. So make sure you consider that when you're writing your goals down. What's important? What matters? What is your values? Because values are so important. Okay. And then now we're entering the month of August. It's so important that, you know, you understand that August is a new month. It's really about moving ahead. Yes, it's Women's Month, but just know that you kind of like a fresh start, a fresh new season, a fresh new page, a fresh new canvas where you can just go to town with your dreams. Dream with eyes wide open. Dream in wide open spaces. Dream across borders. Dream without limitations. So this is part of setting your intention. It's about intentional living. So when you do your goal setting and start envisioning for your vision board, it's about intentional living. And then we're going to look at theme words. So I want you to, on your journal, any page that you have or any place that you have, think of what, based on what you've written down, from your gratitude to the things that hold you back to now what goals you've put in your different quadrants. What's the theme word that's kind of resonating for you right now? What's the one word? Like for me, it was rise up for 2020. Rise up. So COVID will try to bury you, lockdown will try to lock you down, but keep rising up. That's what I felt was like, Rebecca, that's your call to action. So what theme word is your call to action word that you feel is really pushing you right now? So if you can write that down, and if you can share in the chat box, would love to see what you all come up with. Maybe you've already thought about it in January, but if you're finding that I need to push this and emphasize this even more, because the beauty of having a theme word or a phrase, it actually allows you to set the tone, to set the pace, to adjust to the pace. I said re-envision, readjust, realign. Whenever you're getting out, ooh, bootstrap, Manuel, we love that one. And intentional, that's what someone is saying. Thank you. Let's be intentional. It's really about intentional living. So different words are popping up. Overcomer, yeah. Jabulile, thank you. So it's don't give up, yeah. Because so many things will try to bury us. So have a theme word that you always have constantly. And then when it comes to what I would like you to do now is to look at your magazine or your pictures that you have in place. So we're going to talk about digital vision boards, how you now take all those goals and now put them in the form of something that will inspire you. So that vision board. So it could be something that's tangible, where it's on a board like I showed you earlier on, or it could be in a book. So this is a journal. You can get something that's blingy. I love bling. I used to be scared of bling. Can you believe it? And so I decided to work on having a vision board. And so there you go. That's the slide, Sophia. Thank you. So there's a book, an idea that you can just have a nice wall in your house where you can put your vision board, images that will inspire you, or you can have a mesh, like a wire mesh. You can go to those craft stores like Crazy Store, Party Shops. They've got beautiful frames where you can put your images, or you can have them printed like an Instagram like format and put your images there. You can have a wire and a line and the pegs and put those in there. So do you love those? Just give me thumbs up if you like some of these ideas. Or you can have like a pin cushion, and you can pin your words and put it in a frame, or your digital one that you can have. So some people always wonder, like, how do you do the digital one? Yeah, so you like. Thank you. So I love there's so much creativity. I promise you, one day I'm going to just have this beautiful wall of different creative things that I'm going to put out there, with some with bling. So don't be scared of bling. If you're a blingy person, get yourself something that's zhuzhed up, or go to the frame shop. Go and get it framed, custom framed. You will love it. So that image where you see me standing next to a vision board, that's the one. I started with a smaller vision board, and then I updated it, and then I got it framed for myself. So that's where I had the big white one, because I had a white desk and then I had it in front of me. So that's what you can do. So your images and your words. So we'll go on to working with Pinterest. So Sophia will move to the slide there. So some people are not familiar with Pinterest. They always say, what is Pinterest? How do you, Pinterest stuff? So it's really about saying, it's a digital platform. So it's like Facebook, it's a social media service, and it was designed, just to help people with information. So if you don't, I always look at it like magazines that have pages cut out for me. That's how I look at Pinterest. It's like, get all my favorite magazines, cut all my favorite pictures, and put them somewhere where I can find them. And I just put a search word to find it. So if you can go to the next slide, Sophia. So this is where, like, that's what, once you get onto Pinterest and you've got the app, then if you look at this screenshot, this is where my page is. So I've got, I was searching like dream houses, and I was looking at beautiful wedding dresses. Like, one day I will get married and have a beautiful wedding, even if it's small group, but I would love to do that. I love casual wear. I've been looking at different ideas when it's cold and still look cute. So you can actually have categories. So I have a friend who does not have a physical vision board. She just uses Pinterest. Right now, she's painted her walls amazing colors. She just did a creative project, and she used Pinterest and picked the color schemes. And when she showed the artist what she wanted, they did it for her. So it's a real, but then the good thing is that the Pinterest was an inspiration for that creative project, and they interpreted it as they went along. So it was close to what the idea was. So even if you look at those home designs, when my final house is there, it might not look exactly like that, but it'll have some elements of it. So that's basically the power of having something visual to inspire you. So you can have different boards. So if you want to narrow in and zoom in, so for fitness, I sometimes say I want to look cute. So I will sometimes go on Pinterest and look for outfits for working out, or shoes, running shoes, or I'll look at exercise regimes for arms, or, walking. And there was another screenshot, Sophia, if you can go back, it had like a workout app. And so part of you working as well using the digital platforms, you can also download apps besides Pinterest. You can also have your health fitness apps. So if you can comment on the chat box, how many of you are using your phone apps for fitness goals? So that other screenshot, which has 6,054 steps, that's actually me and walking. So I've started walking towards the end of the day. So that's how I'm staying physically fit. So because now we can walk about, I wear my mask, wear comfortable shoes, and walk. So, and each daily goal is 6,000. So there I did quite good, but my speed is still kind of like a little bit sad. I still need to step it up a bit, but at least I've improved. So, so then there are apps called Vision Board, yeah, and I agree with you, Lorraine. So I tried some apps on my phone as well for Vision Boards, but they were not as friendly as the way that I wanted to use them. So you can actually take pictures of some of these things and then put them into a collage, maybe using Canva, or you can use PowerPoint and just kind of put them all together and then take a make it a screensaver for your computer, and it's a reminder of where you're going. But the beautiful thing about Pinterest is that it's an active board. So whenever you accomplish something, you can delete that board and start a new one. So it's really about, oh, I need to work on ideas for making the best non-alcoholic cocktails, or I need to start knowing how to make good coffee. So I need to get a plunger. Which plunger do I want, since I love coffee. So it's really all things coffee. And so there's some comments here. If you can check the chat section, people are providing some really good feedback. So Sophia is saying she used Canva and Over as a screensaver for her digital vision board. So, and you should see Sophia's post. She did a talk and a commentary on digital vision boards on Twitter as well. You can follow that thread and just get inspired about doing that. Okay, so we can go to if we can move on with the slides. So really we're going to cover, we can go on that one. So I love this quote which says, we cannot afford to doubt our God-assigned unique destiny. So it's really about commitment, determination, and focus. I had to realize that I needed to be committed to my vision, because I was wishful thinking. I was shady. I was like, can you do it? So what was on my vision board, I was doing a talk show. And I was very uncomfortable with that idea because I thought I was kidding myself. I thought I'm being too audacious. And then until I actually had a wake up call to say, Rebecca, are you committing to this dream? And because I knew why it wasn't happening, because I wasn't committed. And I hadn't even put that image on my vision board. The minute I put on my vision board, I said, okay, Rebecca, don't focus on how it's going to happen. Maybe it'll happen in 10 years' time. Just put it there. That's how I kind of got it on there. But guess what? In a year's time, someone showed up, was a producer, and they got me planning on my vision board. Before I knew it, we were on set filming episodes for the Rebecca Talk Show. So if any of you want to check out some of the beautiful footage on those vision board sessions and how I got to be interviewing amazing people, everyday people, it's on Rebecca Talk Show on Instagram, on YouTube. Okay, so we can go to the next slide. So Sophia will share a lot of things with you. So it's about reimagining, re-envisioning, and reigniting your hope. So if you can just cut out images, if you're sitting at home in front of your screen and you've got a magazine, find images that are going to help you to reimagine. Like maybe it's a picture of a plant. For me, plants represent life. Represent being vibrant, being lush. So maybe it's a picture of a chair where we're saying, take your seat, take up, have a seat at the table. Maybe it's a picture of a crown, where you own your crown. What is it that you've got in front of you? And just kind of put it where you want to paste it, just as a representation. So we can move to the next slide. Okay, the next one. So we talked about the digital, the next one. And so what's your next and what's your now? So many people forget that they need to live in the now while they're working on their next. So don't check out from today just because you've got dreams, because your dream life starts here. It starts today. It doesn't start somewhere in the future. It starts now. So make sure that you maximize the currency of time. We all have the benefit of time. We all have 24 hours in a day to do what we need to do. So, but part of it today was to maybe re-engineer where we're going, maybe course correct, because we're on a path that we're going to, and we're off course, we off-ramped. There are distractions. Maybe it's a relationship that's toxic and you've off-ramped and they're telling you who you need to become and you're no longer yourself. The now person needs to start now, to start believing in themselves, in loving themselves, in just trusting themselves a little bit more. And then bring in alignment the fears that derail you, the noises that speak louder than you. What are those? Don't listen to them, tune them down. Because what we're saying is that having a vision board does not take away the doubt, does not take away the fear, but it tones it down, way down. It's about reflection. It's really about saying, okay, I know where I've been, but where do I want to go? Where do I want to go? What's my next? And how do I want to feel today? So every morning, there's a practice called mindfulness. So mindfulness is saying, be here now. Yes, plan for the future, but be here now. So you're planning maybe to be able to be certified in something. So when you're in here now, study now. Don't try to finish studying like in 2 seconds when you need to invest 4 hours. So the next slide. All right, so this is a story of a lady who sent me this beautiful message. She said, Rebecca, I wanted to update you on my progress. Since I attended the 2017 Vision Board, the baking has been growing and I'm officially registering the business in January 2020. So this was someone who started baking, they had a talent of baking, and part of re-envisioning was like, you know what, let me do something about my gifts and my talent. So that was a really good all right. So I think, Sophia, what we'll do is there is the talk show one. There's the talk show link where we've got the footage with Bonnie and the other people. So I think there were two registered one, but the most current one is the one with which says Rebecca Talk Show instead of Talks Show. All right. Then the next slide. Thank you. So here, that's Bonnie. So if you see a video like this, then you're on the right YouTube channel. So it really says make the vision plain. So don't complicate it, make it plain. So this lady here, I met her on set. I'd never met her. The producer knew her. And we're recording the video when I was interviewing her. And part of it, she said she wanted to travel more. And since our discussion that time, she actually traveled to the UK and emceed an event. Then she traveled to, she's currently in Canada. She has been doing some phenomenal things on the social media space, emceeing, but just such a beautiful soul, and her business as well. She's got an amazing business that she runs. So that's the info. And then the next slide. So it's really about questions now. So I hope you were encouraged. So as you cut out your images and put them in the different collages and the way that you want to, that will inspire you. So make sure you put your vision board somewhere visible, maybe in your bedroom, put it somewhere where you can see it, maybe in your hallway, maybe in your closet. If you've got people who are haters and they don't want you to see your work, maybe you can put it, take a picture of it and keep it on your phone as a screensaver. Just put it somewhere where you can actually acknowledge it. So one of the things that I do is I look at my vision board and I go through it and just take it all in. Then I go brush my teeth. So that's all I do. So it's just kind of acknowledging that it's there. Because many times when beautiful things start happening, we actually realize that we can recognize them. Like, oh, Sophia's in my life. Maybe she's there to impart something in me. She's there to encourage me. I won't take things for granted. I need to remind myself that I might not be where I am. I feel down right now, but I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going. All right. So any questions now? So it's going to be question and answer time, and any comments as well for different people who have found the vision boards helping them, and other participants can benefit from them. But I hope you found this helpful. So I hope you had your scissors, you had your magazines, you had your glue. So I've got, yes, and then you were able to select the right images. And it's a work in progress. Make sure you revisit it like every year, or every 3 months, or every 6 months. So it's up to you when it comes to really doing the rework. Just like organizations have strategy sessions, they do their vision sessions annually. So normally like around November, December time period, or beginning of the year. And now with COVID lockdown and the pandemic, it really has disrupted a lot of people's lives where they really feel that, you know, things were not going the way that they wanted to. So it's not a time to throw out your dreams. It's really time for you to believe even more, be more gang-ho, to just like, I'm gonna get this done no matter what. So oh, thank you. Oriel is saying this has been amazing and needed at this time. And Yasha is saying, I'd like to add new things as I achieve things, so I take off what I achieve and add more. Oh, I like that. And thank you, Rebecca. I should definitely start doing this. Yes, please. Okay, someone's saying, I struggle with consistency and planning so many things. How do you become consistent? Great question. So it's really important that you stay consistent. So consistent means when you set your goals, I have what I call an action tracker. So I keep myself accountable every month, and I actually put down my goals on an Excel spreadsheet, and I'll put every month. So every month I'll put the weekly goals and each day. So if I have a meeting, and if I need to meet with clients, if I do need to do marketing, then I count for myself. Another thing is also having a mentor who will. It's also important to have a mentor who will keep you accountable. And then also being consistent, it helps you to have accountability buddies where you know someone's going to check me out, so I need to stay consistent. But measure yourself, start having the discipline. Sometimes you don't always feel inspired, but you can definitely be disciplined. So make sure you check in with yourself every month. I love to use quarterly measurements for myself. So every 3 months, I do a check-in with myself to accomplish some of the big goals. And then I have daily consistent goals that I need to know that I need to do. You know, whether it's 2 minutes, whether it's 20 minutes, but at least every day I should at least do something concerning that goal. And then when I can't do it, I forgive myself, but definitely have some kind of measurement system that you can have. Okay. And then another question was, do you offer mentorship? Why is it important to have a mentor? Yes, absolutely. It's so important to have a mentor because I personally was drowning in my own self-talk, self-counseling. And when my mentor would just check in with me and I'll check in with them, they would help me look at things in a different perspective, or they'll help me figure out what I'm really trying to do. And just knowing that someone is there to cheer you on, just we can get places faster, but with support with other people. So I think it's important to just do that. And I do offer coaching and mentorship. We're going to post some special promos for the coaching sessions because there's some serious areas where you know, okay, I get it, Rebecca, but I really need to do the hard work, like what Hannah was saying, the hard mental work. And my coaching sessions are definitely geared to do that. When you've got these issues, these things that you need to bulldoze out of the way, we work through it. We do the hard work so that when you look back, you know, hey, I'm done. And Jackie's asking, how do you bring the board to life and really make sure you accomplish what you've put down? So I just want to let you know that sometimes some things don't work out. So leave room on your vision board for things that might not work out and the way that you think they should. But the idea is there. So like I was giving an example of my friend's artwork. She wanted to get her walls painted. She had an inspirational image from Pinterest, which looked exactly like the way she would have thought it would come out. But while the artist came in and started painting, this is an accomplished interior designer. One of the interviews that they on the YouTube channel, she talks about how she got into art, and she's won top billing awards. She's worked on homes for billionaires, but as they were working on each piece, and I was privileged to be part of the journey, it morphed into something else. It was a beautiful interpretation of the original inspirational image. So just know that sometimes, even though I might say, this is exactly what I want to have 5 kids, I might end up with 3. And I might say I want a girl, I might end up with boys, but work with women, you know, continuously. And I mentor women. I've got young girls who call me mom. And I think it's so special. Like, oh, they call me mom. I've got daughters, you know. So I don't have physical daughters of my own, but I have daughters. But it's something that I'm passionate about, and I embrace them as my, you know, as daughters in my life. So I think just know that the idea and the vision has to be still in front of you to propel you to do things that you're going to do to impact. So your vision has to have purpose and has to have impact. But some things might not happen exactly the way you want them to. Sometimes they even come out even way better than what your idea is. Like my talk show, I remember I thought I'll just do something basic. But before I knew it, I had the camera guy who films for Survivor. He was the main camera guy for that talk show footage. I was like, what? This is way beyond what I would have imagined. So just leave room for surprises, leave room for disappointments, leave room for delays, leave room for miracles, and leave room for just phenomenal, adventures. That I can say that. And then Amanda's saying, thank you, Rebecca. I've accomplished a bit since attending your sessions in Stanton, February 2018. Oh, Amanda, I'm so glad you're on the session. Thank you so much for the feedback. And one young lady, I remember she attended one where she was working in marketing. She said to me, Rebecca, I want to be in media. And I was like, oh, okay. And she says, I don't have much experience, but I really want to do this. And the beautiful thing about it is she actually applied for the job during COVID lockdown, and she got the job, and she's been doing interviews, and I've referred people for interviews with her, and it's been such a beautiful journey to see her accomplishing her dreams. And it just happened so quickly after she kind of like decided to commit to that dream and say, I'm tired of working where I know that it's helping me pay the bills, but this is not fulfilling me. So make sure that you kind of like don't give up on your dream, believe in your dream, and go for it. Okay, any other questions? All right, Sophia or Tendai, if you want to take over. So thank you all everyone who joined. Really appreciate you. Any questions or comments, feel free to keep typing there. All right, over to you, Sophia.
Hi, Rebecca. Thank you so much yet again for another amazing session on Vision Board. I know I've heard this session before, but it's okay for me to hear it 100 times because I think it helps to just revise, relook at your vision boards and stuff like that. And especially at a time like this, some things might have changed. Like for me, I think some things have changed, but then most of the goals, they're still aligned and stuff. And I encourage everyone to really take part in this, in the vision board. It's been a very powerful experience for me. And like I mentioned, I did my digital one, and just seeing it all the time on my phone, it really, really helps. And some people will rather go on the route of using magazines, which is okay, where you can put it somewhere where you can see it all the time. And I even shared on my Instagram the other day that one of the pictures on my vision board is someone graduating. And when I did the vision board with you, I immediately signed up to go back to school. I didn't know how I was going to pay for it, how I was going to make time for it. I was like, I'll figure it out as long as I register. I don't want to procrastinate and stuff like that and put like everything on hold, because like what you're saying earlier in the session, like I'm worried that I'll fail, of like the spirit of just having that fear that you won't do it, you can't make it, you can't cope, you haven't been to school for like 10 years and now you're studying, how you handle that. But then I managed to make it work. I know it's only my first year, but then that act of actually starting now was really powerful. So thank you for everyone who joined the session today. As always, we will share the recording on our YouTube, and I'll send out an email with all the links to that. I'll also share links to platforms and contact details to Rebecca, so you can always get in touch with her, because I see that so many people are interested in the mentorship and coaching sessions. So I'll definitely share her details. So yeah, this is our last session, and this is our 5th week of doing these sessions on a Saturday morning. So I'm so happy that we got onto this journey with people who we know and new to us. But we are just welcome that and so grateful for everyone who joined our community and joined every Saturday for these sessions. we are used to hosting in-person events. This is our first time going virtual. And there are times where we didn't get it right, but then we're just grateful for your patience and support and stuff. I will send out a survey because we like feedback. We want to hear where you think we can improve and where you think we can support you some more, and we'll make sure we create more sessions that are in line with whatever everyone wants to learn. So if you want, and also just encouraging everyone to follow us on our social media pages, on Facebook, Own Your Crown org, on Twitter and Instagram, it's Own Your Crown #1. If you want to get in touch with us, my contact details is 071 711 7448. If you want to email, you can do so, just info@ownyourcrown.org. You know, most people have been contacting me via email or WhatsApp. My responses are pretty quick. So if you need any questions or any details from maybe our previous speakers, I'll be happy to share that. I don't know if Tendai has anything to say, but I guess we can just close off the session. Tendai?
Hi, Sophia. Hi, Rebecca. Good to see you ladies virtually. Good to see you guys. I actually wanted to share my vision board testimony. I remember I shared with you ladies the other day that I was really feeling down because, you know, my vision board, it's on my my cupboard and it's right opposite my bed. So when I wake up, it's the first thing that I see. So because of the lockdown and everything that I'd planned for the year, I was really feeling down to say, okay, this thing keeps looking at me and I feel like I'm not achieving, you know, all my travel plans, my plans for my business, like everything that I had planned to do for the year, even in terms of like my charity work, that sort of thing. So then I started to work on a campaign in my business, and it actually turns out that it was with UNICEF. UNICEF ended up coming on board. And then the other day I was just sitting on my bed and I looked up and I saw on my vision board that UNICEF was actually on my vision board, and I had actually manifested this thing without, you know, actually thinking about it or actively trying to go after it in lockdown. So I just wanted to share that story with everyone. Where did Sophia go?
No, she's there.
Sophia, come back. And I just want to take this moment to just appreciate Sophia and Rebecca, because I mean, they have played a very important role in my life during lockdown. You know, sometimes you're unsure about, you know, certain journeys, and it's nice to have a support system of people that you can talk to, share ideas with. Also people that believe in you. It makes a huge difference to know that there are people rooting for you and actually in your corner. And I just want to encourage you ladies, like what Sophia said, to actually, you know, make yourself part of the community by following our social media pages, involving yourself in the conversation, and actively trying to chase after your dreams. Thank you so much, Rebecca and Sophia. I love and appreciate you ladies.
Oh, thank you for the feedback. Yeah, that's the part of community.
So yeah, I guess that's it for today. Thank you, everyone. We'll definitely be in touch online, and do take care and enjoy your Saturday. And God bless.
See you soon, virtually.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, we'll be sharing our video on YouTube. We'll be sharing the link early next week, and then you can watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take care. Bye.
Bye.